So I have a lot going on in my head as I'm thinking about my collections, and here's some of my watch thoughts. So I'm chasing after something that I can't see, and I definitely don't understand what it is I'm looking for just yet, but I think it's called the perfect collection, and I think everyone in their collecting journey hits a certain point, and it doesn't really matter what it is you're collecting, whether it's cars, bags if you're into that, or watches, where you have so much of it that it doesn't really bring the same feeling you thought it would. You don't have the same connection that is playing out in your mind when you're thinking about what you're passionate about. And I hit that point where now I'm trying to get rid of all of my watches with the exception of a couple and start bringing in some key pieces. And I'm not sure what that looks like yet. This watch, I think, helps bring some clarity for me. I think it helps me see my target, understand it a little better, maybe. Now, this watch is clean. It's not very busy, it's not very special or flashy. It's vintage and has quirky charms as well as an interesting story, at least interesting to me. This is the only Omega that has stayed in the collection with the exception of my Speedmaster. I had a Speedmaster Schumacher yellow dial that I moved on. And I also had a Omega Mecha Quartz, which was the first Swiss luxury watch that I bought. But they just couldn't stay. They didn't connect with me, and I didn't connect with them. This watch, on the other hand, is different. Whenever I talk to my father about this watch, he says, it's nice, but it's a quartz. And he's not a watch snob. Definitely don't get that twisted here. He just doesn't get it, and that's fine. This isn't his watch. It's my watch. It's mine to get, mine to understand, and mine to love. I understand why he might say that, or others might say that about this watch, because the jerking stop-start of the seconds hand reminds me, at least, of a clock that used to hang in almost all my classrooms in high school. And the slow ticking, the deliberate ticking of the seconds hand only made time move slower for me as a kid in high school, where I couldn't wait to get out of and into the real world, or what I thought was going to be the real world. This is not my watch. I mean, it is. I own it, and I wear it, but what I'd like to have is that watch that when people look at it, they go, oh, that's Minuteman's watch, or aka KC from the Spring Bar podcast. That's his watch. He wears that a lot. I connect that with KC. This doesn't have that yet, and who knows if it will at all. But that's something I would like in my watch collections. If you look at someone like Speedy Fett, you look at Speedy Fett and you go, Ploprof. That's his watch. And potentially his family and friends will think of that as well when they see the Ploprof. And I'd like to have that. Maybe that'll be Pelagos for me. But I think I'm driving towards a 7-watch collection. And I'm not 100% sure what's going to be in that collection and how stable it'll be, but 7 I think is the most, one for each day of the week. I can tell you right now, one of them's going to be a Rolex, and I've been a Rolex hater for a while, and there's some reasons behind that that maybe we'll discuss in another short watch thoughts. But I think maybe a birthier sub Sea Dweller or an Explorer might be where I'm going, and this watch is giving me Explorer vibes with how simple it is. a lot of things have been causing me to flip back and forth between these models: pricing, value for money, a story, wearability, and vainly enough, and I'm not really sure about this, but profit. Do I pick up a certain Rolex that I like, or do I pick up a certain Rolex that I kind of like, but it'll hold better value? I'm not sure. There's a lot to think about there. But those are just some watch thoughts. Always ready, always there. Minuteman out.